Here's section 2.4. We're pretty much going to continue what we were doing in the last few sections. So the first one is going to be something like -10 equals 5, open parentheses, x minus 3, close parentheses, plus 5. So the first thing we have to do here is distribute this 5. So we're going to keep -10 equals 5 times x is 5x. 5 times -3 is minus 15 plus 5. Now we're going to combine like terms. We only have one term on the first side, so we'll just keep that, -10. We have the 5x, and we have -15 plus 5, which is minus 10. Now we want to isolate the variable, so we're going to move this 10 over by adding 10. And we get 5x equals 0. And when we divide both sides by 5, we get x equals 0. Next question. Let's say we have 8 minus 2, open parentheses, 2x plus 5, close parentheses, equal 0. So even though you may think that we want to move this 8 over, we want to do everything that we can on this side of the equal sign first. So we're going to say 8 minus 2 times 2x becomes 4x, and 2 times 5 becomes minus 10 equals 0. Now we'll combine like terms. So we're going to have a -4x minus 2 equals 0. Now what I'm going to do is add the 4x to both sides so that I have a positive x. I'm going to have a -2 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4, and x equals -1/2. Okay, next problem will be something like -1 in parentheses x plus 3, close parentheses, plus 3 equals 3. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is distribute the -1. Remember, we do distribute the negative, so it's going to become -x minus 3 plus 3 equals 3. Now when we combine like terms, we keep the -x, we have a -3 plus 3, which becomes 0, and that equals 3. So now we have -x equals 3. We don't want to know what -x is, we want to know what positive x equals. So we're going to divide both sides by a -1, and x equals -3. And that one's easy to look at. If we substitute the -3 in, we have a -3 plus 3, which is 0. 0 times anything is 0, and we're just left with 3 equals 3. Alright, so next one. Let's say that we have -10, open parentheses, x plus 5, close the parentheses, plus 337 equals 21 plus 16. There are going to be some that you have that have big numbers like this, but we're just going to work them the same way that we did before. So we're going to distribute the -10. We'll have a -10x minus 50 plus 337 equals 21 plus 16. Now we're going to combine like terms on each side. So we'll still have the -10x. 337 minus 50 is plus 287, and we have 21 plus 16, which is 37. Now I'm going to subtract the 287 from both sides. We still have the -10x equals 37 minus 287 becomes -250. Divide both sides by a -10, and x equals 25. Alright, so these next two have interesting answers. So for the first one, let's say we have 6, open parentheses, 2x minus 1, close the parentheses, plus 3 equals 2x minus 8 plus 5, open parentheses, 2x plus 1. Okay, I will rewrite this to make it a little bit easier to read. 6, 2x minus 1 plus 3 equals 2x minus 8 plus 5, 2x plus 1. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is distribute the 6 and the 5. So we're going to have a 12x minus 6 plus 3 equals 2x minus 8 plus 10x plus 5. Now we need to combine like terms. We still are going to have a 12x, and here we're going to have minus 3. On this side, we have a 2x plus a 10x, so 12x. We have a minus 8 plus 5, which is minus 3. Okay, as you see here, we have the exact same thing on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and work it through to show what happens. I'm going to move my x's to the left and my numbers to the right. So minus 12x, minus 12x. I'm going to move this 3, so plus 3, plus 3. And I'm going to get 0 equals 0. The answer for something like this is all real numbers. Any number that you put in here into the beginning will work. Now, when you're doing problems like this, if you get to this point where you have the exact same thing on both sides of the equal sign. Here we have 12x minus 3 equals 12x minus 3. You don't have to keep going to get 0 equals 0 to get all real numbers. Sometimes when people do that, they just put that the answer is 0. 0 is a correct solution, but it's not all of the correct solutions. So once you get to this point where you have the same x's on both sides and the same numbers on both sides, go ahead and stop and put all real numbers. Okay, so there was that type of special one. Now there is this one. Say we have 5 in parentheses 2 minus x, close the parentheses, plus 8x equals 3, open parentheses, x minus 6. Okay, so now we just need to distribute the 5. So we're going to have a 10 minus 5x plus 8x equals, distribute the 3, we'll have 3x minus 18. Okay, so now we're going to combine like terms. We have an 8x minus a 5x. So we have a 3x and a plus 10 equals 3x minus 18. Okay, so here, normally this is where you would stop, where you have the same number of x's, but you have a different number here. But I'm going to keep going to show what happens. And to do so, I'm going to move my x's to the left and my numbers to the right. Minus 3x, and minus 10, minus 10. When I do that, 3x minus 3x is 0. 10 minus 10 is 0. So I have 0 equals 3x minus 3x is 0. Negative 18 minus 10 is negative 28. But 0 does not equal negative 28. So here, there is no solution. Now on this one, you can keep going and you're going to get 0 equals something, or you're going to get 1 equals something besides 1. But you're going to have two numbers that are different from each other on both sides of the equal sign, and you're going to have no x. When you get to this point where you have the same number of x's equals the same number of x's, but the numbers, the constants are different, that's where you can stop and say that there is no solution. You could, on this one, work all the way and say, wait a minute, 0 doesn't equal negative 28, or 5 doesn't equal 7, so there's no real answer. Okay, then we're going to have one that is pretty long. So we're going to have a bracket, a parentheses, negative 3x plus 12 minus 3x, close the parentheses, 3 plus 4x, close the parentheses, 4 equals negative 45x plus 4, open parentheses, negative 2x minus 12. So I'm going to do the top part here. What we have to do is what's inside the parentheses first, and we have like terms there, so I'm going to combine them. So I'm going to have, open my parentheses, negative 3x minus 3x is minus 6x plus 12, close the parentheses, times 3 plus 4x, close the bracket, times 4, equals, and I'm going to say negative 45x plus 4, negative 2x minus 12. I'm not going to yet do that side, just because I want to do it so that I have the same things both ways. So now I have a 3. I'm going to have to distribute this 3. So I'm going to open my bracket, and I'll have a negative 18x plus 36 plus 4x, close the bracket, times 4, equals negative 45x plus 4, open parentheses, negative 2x minus 12. Okay, here, now I'm going to combine like terms. I have a negative 18x plus 4x, so negative 14x plus 36 to all times 4 equals negative 45x, and at this point I'm going to distribute the negative, or distribute the 4, so I'm going to have 4 times negative 2 is minus 8x, and 4 times a negative 12 is minus 48. Okay, now I'm going to distribute this 4. So 4 times negative 14x is negative 56x, plus 4 times 36 is 144, equals, I'm going to combine like terms here, negative 45x plus, or minus 8x is negative 53x minus 48. Now I'm going to move my x's to the right and my numbers to the left. So plus 56x plus 56x, and move my numbers, plus 48 plus 48. And now I don't have enough room here, so I'm going to delete the top part. Okay. All right, so now we have negative 56 plus 56x is 0. 144 plus 48 is 192, equals negative 53x plus 56x is 3x, and minus 48 plus 48 is 0. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and we're going to get x equals 64. So this one had quite a bit to it. Remember, just do what's in the very inside parentheses first and work out like we did here. We did what was on the very inside, and we just kept going out until we got to there were no more parentheses. And that is it for section 2.4.